All right, friends, it's Team On. We're back with a new video on our good friend JasonBlaha. We're going to react to the gym lifting recruiting fitness care slaves video. Blaha says, strength changes everything. Okay, I can't wait to hear what this Bati boy has to say.
Strength changes everything. Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here.
People are all aware that there's two types of strength. There's neurological strength, and then there's muscular strength, muscle. See what I mean? Can you have one without the other? Yeah, you could build a lot of neurological strength. But which one will go faster? Your muscle that you built, or the neurological strength when you leave the gym or whatever it is you're doing? Which one is fake and which one is real? Ask yourself that question. Which strength is fake and which one's real? Which one's artificial? Do people not even understand what artificial means? Look, that neurological stuff that you built up, lifting a weight, practicing, getting good at doing that, is artificial. The physical strength that you built, the muscle, that's real. Now, when people say artificial muscle, and then they're talking about real muscle, they're talking about sarcoplasmic. That's considered artificial muscle growth. Non-contractile proteins, the sarcoplasm expanding, is not building myofibrillar growth, so it's artificial. Get it, man? Yeah.
That I would chat with you guys and gals a little bit about this today. But a quick reminder, if you guys would click like down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. If you are not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you would be so kind as to drop me a comment down below, it'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. So let's get over to the topic. Again, I work with a lot of clients who are over 40. A lot of them compete in things, a lot of them do not. But that's kind of been my bread and butter at this point. Like around half my clients are over age 40. I'm 48 years old. So one of the things that I will note, and some younger guys don't get this, they should get this, but they don't get it. But older guys start to realize, man, strength really matters. As soon as you get 35.
I love this. Strength really matters. The question is this: when should people really take up lifting? When should they, just in general, let's say exercise, okay? You've seen old people right away, they start stretching a lot, Pilates, whatever. Why do they do that? Because the loss of these sarcomere series. So when would be a good time for people to really exercise themselves? Maybe when they're retired or they're older or retired, maybe that's the best time. Should you be doing that when you're young? If you're asking my opinion, honestly, my honest opinion, I'm going to have to say no. When you're young, you don't need to do any of these things. As you get older, I don't know. It's really hard to say. We're doing so many unnatural things. I guess we're deteriorating faster than we're aging. That's what I'm discovering now, because ever since I started just eating animal products, I noticed a lot of changes in my body. Wow. Bro, I noticed so many things. I can't describe it. It's something you would have to experience yourself. Now, it took me over 2 years to get to this point, eating animal products, because I still wasn't there. But once I got there after 2 years, I'm like, wow, this is what it's really like. Holy shit. See what I mean? So a lot of people, they're hooked on the slave food diet, which deteriorates the F out of you. Like I said, you have to experience a lot of things in life to figure out on your own what it's like to be a certain way. Ask yourself this question. All of you are eating slave food diet carbs out there. What would you be like and what would you feel like if you absolutely stopped eating those slave foods and just ate animal products for the next couple years? What would you look like and what would you feel like? See what I mean? If I could go back in time, I would tell my young self to stop eating the slave food diet. Absolutely stop that. I did a lot of wrong things when it came to lifting. I did all the things that all these people did when they were young. I chased everything. I chased these products from the health food store, the bodybuilding store. I drank gallons of milk. I thought, yeah, just drinking gallons of milk, and you just gain water weight. I did a lot of stupid things, bro. If I could go back in time, really, I would tell my old self, I go, don't do any of those things, really. But like I said, it was a learning experience. If I didn't try it, then I would never know what it would be like.
Or something, if you haven't been working out, you let yourself go. When you go to
It's like this. You already know what it's like to be on the slave food diet, but you don't know what it's like to be on the natural diet. See, the majority of people out there, 99.9%, they all know what it's like to be on the slave food diet, but they don't know what it's like to be on a natural diet or be a natural human being. Yeah, they don't even know what it's like to hunt. You're a hunter, you're a predator, but you don't know what it's like to hunt.
pick something up, you notice it.
You ever have the one friend who finds all the
And working out, you let yourself go. When you go to pick something up, you notice.
If you haven't been working out, you let yourself go. Your body is just going to return to something called homeostasis. What is homeostasis? Your natural being, what you're supposed to be like. But you're not happy. A lot of people aren't happy with their natural state. Now, I'm not unhappy with my natural state. I do have this propensity. I like building muscle, and I don't like giving my energy away either. I don't like just giving it away. And I don't like to spend a lot of energy on something and waste my time. A lot of people, they have this propensity of giving away their energy, spending a lot of time doing something that is not beneficial and is actually robbing them of their energy and their time. And time is precious. Time goes very quickly. See what I mean? Look, if you could get neurological and physical strength at the same time, so if you could build muscle and this neurological strength at the same time, so why not do that kind of exercise? Why would you waste your time doing something that's just neurological? It's not going to benefit you in any way. You've wasted a lot of time, you've given up a lot of energy, and for what? And then you start doing these crazy things called bulk diets and all this to try to build muscle because you're frustrated. You don't know what you're doing.
When you go to do minor things, you get up out of bed, you hurt. Like you pull muscles doing routine things like even,
I don't get up out of bed and pull muscles and I hurt. I never hurt or pull muscles.
sexy time with the wife. Like things start happening. And this is
Sexy time with the wife. The problem with concentric lifting and eating slave food diets, it's going to kill your sex drive. You're not going to want to have sexy time with your wife. That's why I look around in North America. The majority of people, the way they eat and the way they live and the lack of vitamin D, there's no relations. Look in your neighborhood. Look at the people walking around. Are they holding hands? Do they look like they're in love? When you go to these unindustrialized countries, notice the people, they're holding hands everywhere they go. They have a couple, they have a girlfriend, a boyfriend. They're all happy. They're all outside, enjoying their life. Is anybody here in North America enjoying their life like that? Are they holding hands? Are they in love? You see couples walking around. Where? What do you see? Nothing. You see absolutely a zero.
stuff that people realize and they appreciate more and more and more they associate with getting old. Okay, but the reality is
this. Blaha is coping. He's got this crazy idea about strength, but he's coping, lifting in the garage every single day. He has no woman, no girlfriend. He has no life. At least I am longevity guy. I mean, he's doing his exercise thing in the park, right, running around. I don't recommend you do a lot of that craziness. I think playing sports is a lot better out in nature. But Blaha, this is depressing. This is pathetic and depressing, and this is cope.
this stuff doesn't have to happen. It doesn't have to exist. We shouldn't get hurt doing day-to-day activities. At least most of us. Now, people say, what happens sometimes with strong guys? There's usually overtraining involved. Usually some major overtraining in the gym, with bad programming that causes this. But
Then they're not strong. Okay?
I digress. Back over to the point.
If anything happens to me bad to my body, then I know I'm not strong. I'm getting weaker. And that was a big moment for me. I think it was a couple of years ago. Okay, I hurt my ankle. That was a big moment for me. I mean, at that time, I was pushing really heavy. I was like doing weird things in the gym, pushing heavy weight, but it was mostly compounded heavy weight. And then it actually weakened me. And you think that that would cause bone mineral density, but that's a lie, because I would have never hurt my ankle if I lifted eccentrically. And at that time, I wasn't really lifting eccentrically. I was just fooling around with weight and trying to rehabilitate myself. And I walked around in the wintertime on ice. I slipped and I fucking wrecked my ankle. And I'm telling you, that was a big sign that told me I would never break a bone. Like, it's crazy. How could you fracture a bone? Which is crazy. I had a little fracture, but it's just ridiculous, bro. It tells you you're weak because the bones are the first sign. And your teeth, if you're going to see a dentist, well, that is the sign you're really not watching. If your teeth are deteriorating, that means your bones are deteriorating as well. Yeah. So, in order to keep your teeth healthy and you going to see a dentist, what do you need to do? You need to stop eating the slave food diet. And that's a big thing. That's one of the biggest things I noticed. My bones became harder and stronger now, like they were in the past. They're a lot better. Also, my teeth, I haven't seen a dentist in over, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, since I've gone just eating natural food. So that's a big plus as well. No dentist, my teeth aren't deteriorating, they actually got stronger. My gums got better, my teeth are stronger, and that means my bones are a lot stronger, and they are. Everything has gotten stronger. Now I'm working on some other things because I told you I have some nerve problems. The whole thing with the stenosis in the spine. But I think eventually I can overcome these problems.
These things shouldn't be happening. And again, as you get older, getting up off the toilet or getting up off the couch should not be a major strain, but it gets to a point in life where it is. And if we just strength train, hey, these things go away. These problems go away.
Yeah, these problems go away. If you just train eccentrically, all of those problems will go away. And you don't need to train often eccentrically. He has to train concentrically often because he's a performing slave. And in order to keep up with the performance, you have to lift on a daily. Now, eccentrically, you don't have to lift daily. You lift periodically. That's the difference.
Way, but the same thing with a lot of younger guys. I've known of younger guys. I know someone, even now, who at her job, she works circles around all these younger guys, and she's like, this is sad. You guys need to get in and lift. Now, she's a pretty serious lifter, but she has a somewhat physically demanding job, at least part of the job is, and she's just like, there's 23, 24-year-old guys. She's like, you guys can't do anything. Like, I shouldn't be able to outwork you. Like, this is ridiculous. But that's a perfect example, guys. Perfect examples. Even for young.
Work doesn't exist. It's fake. There's no such thing as work in nature. No animal in nature works because work doesn't exist. There's hunting and eating, but work doesn't exist. So all this stuff that Blaha talks about is artificial, it's fake.
Young men, because they've been so sedentary, they haven't strength trained. They've never been
I love this. They're so sedentary, they don't strength train or don't do anything. Well, they definitely don't hunt because the lifestyle.
in a gym. And there's this weird idea people have that, oh yeah, if you just do some physical labor, you'll be strong and in shape. But that's just simply not true. Like, that is a really weird myth that working class guys come up with.
I don't know what he's talking about. Strong and in shape. You are strong and in shape when you're young. I've never been out of shape or not strong when I was young. That's ridiculous. You know, when you get older, your body, you're deteriorating. If you're deteriorating, you're getting weak. You have to figure out how to stop the deterioration. And then you can focus on everything else, just getting strong and stuff, your body, physically. Blaha is not getting stronger. He's deteriorating faster than he's aging.
I used to be in that environment, I get it. But the fact is, the guys who lift can outwork them. Because again, as you can imagine,
I love this. The guys that lift can outwork them. Well, on your job, you're going to adapt. I don't know what your job is. If your job's a physical demanding job, then it will adapt to whatever it is you're doing there. See what I mean? It's kind of obvious if you're sitting down on a computer all day, you're not doing anything. How does your body adapt? Sitting in a chair, I don't know, typing on a computer. Whatever job you're doing there, it will adapt.
you can imagine, I've met construction workers and other people at powerlifting meets. Like, not everyone who's competing in powerlifting has a desk job. There are plenty of guys who...
Listen to what he said. Everybody that competes in powerlifting has a desk job. So construction workers going there too?
literally just do construction work and things like that, right? Like serious manual labor. There's plenty of them.
Trust me, if you do serious manual labor, you don't want to go to the gym and lift weights. I've done physical labor jobs, and I'm telling you, it built my body definitely doing those jobs, but I never wanted to go to a gym to lift weights, ever.
You know, and they'll tell you the same thing. They're just like, I come and do my training, whenever I bench 350 and, deadlift 600 and...
You bench 315 and 600 and lift 600. And what purpose? For what reason? What can you do with that? Even if you're a mover in a company, you move with a team. The team, you move things with a team. So there's no benefits there other than accelerated aging.
I work circles around the other guys. I beat them on sheetrock. I beat them on all this other stuff. They're like, they can't keep up with me.
You understand? This is cope. This is Blaha coping.
And, that is the simple reality, and that's the point, man. Strength makes all the difference.
No woman gives a shit. She can't see what you're fucking lifting, dude, all right? She only sees what you physically look like, a specimen of a man. If you are a specimen of a man, they're going to want you. And the more of a specimen of a man you are, the more they're going to be attracted to you. The more they're going to come up to you. Yeah. If you're like 6'8" or 6'9", you're a tall dude, 6'9", walking around a fucking giant, and you're handsome. You actually look good, and you're kind of built. You think women? You just stand there in the corner of the street. You think women aren't gonna come up to you and start talking to you? Why aren't they talking to the other guys? Why are they coming up to you? Because you're a specimen of a man. You're something that is unusual. They don't see every day a guy 6'9", built and handsome. You understand me?
In the things in our day-to-day life. But again, this is this myth that people have that, this other stuff will, except that they're all broken down and beat up. How many of those guys who do that sort of work, this their lifestyle and everything, that sort of work, this their lifestyle and everything they do, they still oftentimes are obese. They still have all these problems. They still have stuff that hurts and gets beat up because it's just overuse in an unbalanced manner.
Yeah, okay.
Right? When you're coming in as strength training, you can build everything balanced, and then all your physical work becomes a secondary stress.
Wow.
When that becomes your primary builder, you get muscle imbalances because maybe the nature of your job.
Well, look again. What good is all this lifting if you can't? It's not carryover to sports. Eccentric exercise, you're building sarcomere series. That's a carryover to sports. It's a carryover to every sport. But what he's doing is not a carryover. It's just waste of time, man. Coping. This is cope maxing, dude.
It's fairly repetitive, and certain muscles don't get worked nearly as much as others. Okay, well, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
People need to understand that. They have this idea, well, it must be really good and balanced because it's just manual labor. As if the human body was designed specifically for manual labor. No, we were meant to be out on planes, running stuff down and hunting and climbing a tree. We're not meant to necessarily do a free
Yeah, exactly. We're meant to enjoy life and hunt and eat. But that's it, very efficiently.
repetitive set of physical tasks for 8 hours a day. No, that's not actually how our body is developed. So again, the same thing. Muscle imbalances, where if you just came in and strength trained everything, those imbalances go away. But yeah, in those same jobs, these strong
What imbalances? What is he talking about?
guys I know, they're like, yeah, I work circles. I'm better at my job physically than these other guys, even though it's just a manual labor job. In other words, just like strength training carries over to sports, doing big heavy barbell lifts, getting strong.
What type of strength training is carry over to sports? What type? Neurological strength training or physical strength training, muscular strength training? Which one is a carryover?
That carries over to sports like football, everything else, right?
Okay, let's say you're a small guy, but you didn't build any muscle. You didn't get bigger and stronger. But you can lift a heavy weight. Is it a carryover to sports? Will that be a carryover? You think this guy Arakli is stronger than Levan Sangashvili? That guy that trains with Sangashvili, Levan Sangashvili, the arm wrestler. Do you think Arakli, the small strong guy, is stronger than Sangashvili? You all have to be nuts to think that. That small strong guy, Sangashvili eats him for lunch, destroys him. He fucking crunch him up into a fucking ball and throw him in the garbage can. You understand me? Small, strong guy. Get it, dude? Big, strong guy, small, strong guy. The big, strong guy is stronger than the small, strong guy. Yeah, it's really simple. It's not a carryover. It's not a carryover. Small, strong guy, neurological strength is not a carryover to other sports. If you're not physically strong, you're going to get injured. You're going to get hurt.
Non-specific carries over to distance running. We know this. It carries over to your manual labor job too. It will make you better at it.
It can help with performance, but it doesn't make you physically strong.
Again, the same idea. Sport-specific training is not what always makes you good at your sport. It's an important part of the skill. But, so the same thing that we can then apply to that manual labor, let's apply that to every sport. We know.
Look, a lot of sports require a longer range of motion. If you've been training in a short range of motion, but not a long range of motion, remember, where do people get injured? In the short range of in the long range of motion. That's where they get injured. You understand me? That's where they are the weakest, because they don't train long range of motion. Christ.
The strength training is required. Nobody makes it in the NFL. No one makes it in the MMA. No one makes it in the UFC. No one makes it in any.
Yeah, and they got a lot of injuries there. A lot, bro. UFC, Christ. I've seen all kinds of wacky shit there.
Sports without doing excessive amounts of strength training. Well, not excessive, but appropriate amounts. They don't make it. Even Lance Armstrong did tons of barbell squats. Okay? See where we're going with this? Strength makes all the difference, and strength training matters, and it matters to every aspect of your life. It matters if you play any sport. It matters if you have a manual labor job. It matters as you start to get older and you need to pick your kids up or bring the groceries in, or you need to get.
What is the one major thing when people they break a hip or something? What happens to them? Their life is cut short. They break a hip, they break a bone. Even young people, if they're to break their hip, they could possibly get cancer or something there. They could die young. So bone is a big indicator, bro, of your health. If your bones are breaking, whatever you're doing, they're weak. You're gone. So really you need to focus on your bones. And eccentric exercise causes micro tears in your bones. That's the good thing about that exercise. The weight is heavier, you're moving in real time, and it's causing these micro tears. So your bones are going to go through a remodeling a lot more than it would go through lifting in a short range of motion. Yeah. It's kind of obvious.
Get up off the toilet. Okay? Again, how far are we falling as individuals when, let's say, you get up into your 40s and you've let yourself go completely? When getting up off the couch becomes hard.
It does.
Okay, this is a problem. And this is
Well,
what
if you're eating slave food diet, then definitely it's going to be hard for you to get up off the couch.
happens if we don't strength train. Okay, it is absolutely.
That's not what happens when you don't strength train. That's what happens when you eat slave food diets. You can't get up off the sofa. Okay, dude? He's lying to you.
The fountain of youth, but it's not just a fountain of youth. It lets you function optimally.
Exercise is not the fountain of youth. The fountain of youth is you stop eating food that is corrupting you, okay? That is destroying you. Slave food diet.
At all these other endeavors, whether it's your career, your hobbies and sports, your day-to-day life. And ultimately, it will affect your survival. Because again, the bone density, the strength, the fighting off sarcopenia, what is it that we know? Hip fractures. Hip fractures.
Yeah. Short range of motion, heavy weight can actually cause the opposite, and eating slave food diets can weaken your bones.
The death sentence.
I can tell you though, eccentric exercise will strengthen your bones because it'll go through a regeneration. It'll cause micro tears in your bone. It'll cause your bone to remodel. So will your muscle, so will your ligaments and tendons. But lifting in short range of motion concentrically, like Blaha, does not remodel your bones. It doesn't do anything. If anything, it makes you weaker. And there's no building of your muscle. There's no ligament tendon. There's nothing here.
Okay, doctors will tell you this. You're over 60 years old if you fracture a hip. It is pretty much a death sentence.
Yeah, I would agree. If you fracture your hip, it's a death sentence. Yes, it means that you're already so deteriorated at this point.
It's like a 90% chance you're going to be dead in a couple years. Like I said, everything declines. Just getting strong in squats and deadlifts will dramatically reduce your risk of hip fracture when you fall down.
Yeah, squats and deadlift. If it's eccentrically, yeah, it definitely will benefit you eccentrically. See what I mean?
All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys,
What he's doing here is not doing anything.
gals, next time.
Yep. See you in the next one. Ciao, friends. Tell what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Bla's an unusual animal, for sure.